Good morning and welcome to Mindful Matters. My name is Drew, and I am very excited to be talking with all of you once again. Every week we are live here, 10 a.m. Eastern on Sundays. Not sure if I want to change the times. I'm trying to figure out what works for everybody. I know we all have different schedules, so ideally for me, the mornings are the best because I can guarantee like it's more of a weekly thing, rather than if we were doing it in the afternoons or the evenings. A lot of times I'll have things going on, so I wouldn't be able to guarantee it's like as weekly, which I would want it to be. So I guess just let me know, keep me posted. What day works for all of you guys. But yeah, I guess for now we're here, so I might as well just be in the present, enjoy the moment, and yeah, let's talk some mental health, some mindfulness. Thank you if you're joining live. Thank you for being here. If you're watching on the replay, thank you so much. Drop a comment if you're here. I want to say hi to y'all. Um, Production Rex, thank you so much for joining, buddy. Really appreciate you. Drew, how are you doing? Long time no see. I hope you are well. Thank you. I'm doing well. I am doing well. I Overall I'm doing good. I had a few this past week, I had a few moments where I really self-sabotaged. I really self-sabotaged. And I'm not very proud of myself for that, but hopefully we can move forward. Hey Drew, what's up going on? Hey Drew, what's up? What's going on? I hope your week is going well for you. Hope your week is going well for you. I cannot talk. Thank you, Cobra Kai Rapper. I appreciate that. Yeah, overall it's been a good week. Overall it's been a good week. I appreciate that, guys. How are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? Yeah, overall it's been a good week. But yeah, there definitely were a few moments where I was self-sabotaging. Um, Something happened, and then I like that was the issue. But then I started to spiral, and then I started to like say all these hurtful things about myself, um that had nothing to do with the situation. I was just so upset by the situation that I just started to spiral and go off on myself and like say all these things like that, like, and think all these things that just like had nothing to do with it, you know? It would be one thing if I was saying like, okay, like this has to, it would be one thing if it had to do with it. I mean, still, we should be kind of gentle on ourselves, but it got to the point where I was being so hard on myself that by the end of like, because I was like literally talking out loud to myself. I was recording a voice memo. That's kind of like how I like to cope. By the end of the voice memo, I wasn't even talking about the situation. I was just talking about like myself and negative self talk. It was really bad. Um, and why do we do it? Because it's easy. It's so easy. So easy when you're feeling like crap to just kind of put that on yourself more. Um, and I definitely I was definitely crying, and it felt sometimes it feels good to cry, but it's hard to in the moment be like, "Oh, you're okay. It's okay." Um, it's hard. It's very hard, especially like when you're by yourself and you don't have when you kind of have to tell yourself that. I was driving, so it was like I was driving for maybe like an hour, so it was like I was like kind of stuck in my thoughts, and I didn't have anybody there to say, "It's okay, Drew. You're okay." I had to do that for myself, but I honestly didn't. And I share that because, I mean, we're human and it happens. I advocate for being gentle on yourself and loving yourself and being kind to yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean I always do it, you know. Um it's a journey. It's something we learn. So, um Elena, what's up, Elena? Hi, Drew, and everyone. So happy to be here. I'm so thankful for you guys as always for being here. I love this community. I love you guys with all my heart. So, I really appreciate you today and every day. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. NDD, what's up? Hey, Drew, how's it going? How are you doing? How's your day going? I had a moment today. I hope I don't have another today. What do you mean you had a moment? If you want to share, if you want to be a little more specific. If not, that's okay. Um, was it like a moment of like did something happen or but a lot of times like when things happen, I'm like, okay, you know what? Get it out of the way at the beginning in the morning. Get it out of the way in the morning and then, bounce back in the afternoon and evening. Um, Elena says, I went to a funeral today and it was so hard, honestly. I'm trying to cope with that. Overall, I'm fine, trying my best. I am so sorry to hear about that. Um, yeah, that that's something that I struggle to understand and to, accept is yeah, when someone passes, I don't know what the relationship was, but whatever it is, when it's someone close to you, even if it's a stranger, when you hear about these sorts of things, it's devastating. And to to go to a funeral, like on one hand, like sometimes it's like a celebration of their life, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, they're still gone and it's still hard. um so i understand I understand that it's hard. And um I'm glad that overall you're fine and trying your best. um I would say, Elena, if you can, today is an emotional day for you, I'm sure. Surround yourself with some loved ones, because it's not gonna be. Um, I don't think there's one thing you can do right now, one answer, and then you just won't be sad anymore. And it's okay to be sad. Like that's life. That's normal, especially when someone passes away and you go to a funeral. I know every time I go to a funeral, I'm a mess. It's just horrible because then you think about like how like that, I don't know, life is so precious, and then like 1 second you're there and then 1 second you're not, you know um it's very scary to think about. So yeah, just if you can, I mean, I'm really glad you're here. Hopefully this is helping. But yeah, surround yourself with loved ones and people who support you, to kind of ease that burden, you know um and you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Being kind to other people, it's easy and of course the best, but sometimes unfortunately we are forgetting to be kind to ourselves as well. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly 1,000,000%. I completely agree with that statement. Um, it's very easy for me to like be kind to others or to try to be kind to others. And then when it comes to myself, like, it's like sometimes I'm like, It's okay if I say this because I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just saying it to myself, you know? It's not hurting anybody else. But why does it, why are my feelings not as important as someone else's? Like, why is it okay for me to not hurt somebody else, but then hurt myself? Shouldn't be hurting anybody. You're just as important. Um, but a lot of times we're hard on ourselves because, I mean, for a multitude of reasons. um I do think there's an extent where like sometimes it's good to be hard on yourself, but you don't want to be like constantly on yourself and constantly mean to yourself. I think if you're working or if you're trying to improve or something, you know we have to push ourselves and kind of like motivate ourselves. And like, for example, um and sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we do the wrong things too. You know, sometimes we might be. Sometimes we we make bad decisions. And I mean, sometimes you beat yourself up. Sometimes, you say that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. And sometimes that's okay. If it's something that you did that you're not proud of, that you really wish you didn't do. But then there comes a point where you got to just stop. Because if you keep going with that, if you keep beating yourself up for the same thing over and over, you're never going to move on. You're never going to grow. And it can be really hard. But I think the most important thing is, like, as long as you're trying your best and trying to be a good person and trying to do the right thing, and we all make mistakes. Sometimes we do things that we're not proud of. But when you realize the mistake, realize you're human, you're not I was going to say no, you're not perfect, and this happens to everybody, It's so important. So I agree. Production Rex says, my anxiety kicked in at jujitsu. I froze and did not join in. I stayed quiet and kept looking at my phone. I'm going to the pub with some of the lads later. I hope the same thing does not happen again. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Um, yeah, I think that's a very common thing too nowadays with our phones. I was actually out yesterday and I was talking to somebody about it. A lot of times when we're uncomfortable, when we're nervous, when we're lonely, we take our phones out and we start typing or whatever. Not because we're addicted to our phones and because we necessarily want to be on our phones, but because it's kind of like a, what's the word? I don't know, but God, there's a word. It's like a way of, like, kind of coping through the situation where, like, you're not just standing there awkwardly. Like, if you're nervous or if you're not talking to anybody, instead of just standing there, like, looking around, like, making it obvious that you don't know that you're uncomfortable, you take out your phone and you just start fidgeting. It's like a fidget thing, to make it, like, look like you're okay. Um, and listen, it happens. It happens. There are times where, you know, I'll be out and about in public, I'll be doing something, and I could be really social and I could be really energetic and I could be really, like, feeling good, and I'm like, wow, like, this is going great. And then there's other times where, like, yeah, depression, anxiety, stress just kicks in, and then I feel like I'm like a total, like, I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, I shouldn't even be here. I'm ruining the vibe. Um, yeah, that literally happened recently, where it's like, am I ruining the vibe? Should I not be here? Um, you know, and it's like, a lot of times it's easier to just say, okay, like, let me just not be there. Let me just take a step back. Um, but it happens. It happens to all of us. Um, that's okay that you had anxiety in that moment and that you didn't join it and you stayed quiet. That's fine. It happens. Um, you know, Sometimes what I like to do is go to the bathroom and just, like, splash some water on my face, go outside, take some deep breaths. Sometimes take a step out, take a minute to yourself, and also realize, like, and not put so much pressure on it. It's okay to be quiet and to listen to people. Like, you don't have to be, if you're, like, in a group, or whatever, like, you don't always have to be involved in the conversation, always saying something to be, you know whatever. You could, like, sometimes it's okay to, to step back and to listen and to, but yeah, I understand the phone thing. um Maybe, hmm, I don't know, the only thing with the phone is when you go on your phone, I feel like it doesn't, if you're trying to talk to people and you're on your phone, a lot of people won't, like, come up to you and, like, try and start conversation if you're on your phone because they're assuming you're busy. But I do understand that, like, it's like a what is the word? I don't know. Like for example, for me, if I'm not on my phone, I always have a water bottle in my hands. So like I always have water. I'm kind of giving my kind of revealing my thing now, but like um not every time. Sometimes I'm just genuinely thirsty, but like a lot of times if I'm like, if I was in a situation like that and I'm uncomfortable or um I feel quiet and I feel awkward and I feel like I should be doing something, but I'm not. Instead of looking at my phone, I just take a sip of water. Because, like, in those 5 seconds, I'm doing something. So I'm not awkward. I'm not quiet. I'm drinking my water. I don't know. Does that make sense? But anyway, um, going tonight with going tonight to the pub. Be easy on yourself. Be gentle on yourself. Don't put so much pressure on it. Don't feel like, okay, I had anxiety today and now I have to be this socially active person. Like, as you said, you're going to the pub with some friends. Just enjoy their company. Take it nice and easy. And if you feel like your anxiety is starting to come up, maybe I don't know if you have a friend there who can support you or who you could tell maybe. Or if not, go outside, take some deep breaths, come back in and just just have fun with your friends, have fun with your friends, take it easy, and you don't have to be 100% all the time. You don't have to be like talking all the time and super socially active all the time. If you want to stay quiet and listen, it's okay. But I will say, maybe, I mean, you tell me. I don't want to, whatever. But maybe you should try not looking at your phone tonight when you're uncomfortable. You know, maybe that would be a good challenge, is to not look at your phone and to kind of sit. And even if it does feel a little uncomfortable, to kind of like feel out that discomfort. Sorry, feel out the discomfort. You know, and see, like, I don't know. It might show you something. It might teach you something. Um, it's definitely, I understand it's uncomfortable, but maybe that's something you try tonight. Maybe. I don't know. Of course, Elena. I got you. I got you. Of course. I appreciate you for being here. I want to ask questions, but it seems like I asked very good questions at our last session. Hey, there's no bad question, so you could ask anything, or you could share anything, whatever you're going through. So, please, yeah, share whatever you want. Like, there's no like, oh, this question's better than the other. This is just what we're all going through. Yes, exactly. We all make mistakes as part of life. The important thing is what you are choosing to do, change after that. Preach. Exactly. I'm also terrified of my anger. I can't control it. Mm. Yeah, okay, that's a big one. Um, hmm. I guess like when specifically, just in general, does something trigger you specifically? Because I think like that's an important thing, is like to figure out like why are you angry? What triggers your anger? It always, before you can control something or fix a solution, you need to know why. You need to know why it is. Why are you angry? Why do you feel like what is the trigger? So I think once you figure out that, then we could go from there. I'm doing that with my water as well. I get it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I always have a water bottle on me. And if I don't have a water bottle on me, I'm like, ooh. I don't know. Sometimes I'll like play with my bracelet or whatever. I don't know. Um, I mean, to be honest, my phone is like my safety blanket. It helps me, distracts me from everything. But to be honest, I'm normally chatty, but I can become very quiet. Safety blanket. Thank you. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. It's your safety blanket. And that's fine. I mean, sometimes, we need that. Sometimes we need that. I totally do that sometimes, where if I'm uncomfortable, I'll go on my phone. But I will say, maybe make it a goal for one time to try not to use your phone as a safety blanket. You can have something else. Like maybe have a water bottle, you know, just if you're feeling uncomfortable or whatever, just take a sip of water or whatever. I don't know. Or like bring like a ring that you can like play with on your finger. I don't know. But I don't know, maybe going away from the phone would start to help. I don't know. I don't have a friend who can do that with me. He is busy and getting there. Might be hard to the pub because of the paths taken there. Maybe I don't go. Yeah, so that's whatever that's whatever you feel like you should do tonight, you know. Um if you genuinely don't feel like today's a good day for you, if you feel like you're not up for it, you're not doing too well, you could use the day off. That's totally okay. You could always do it another time. But if it's like you want to go, but you're just feeling a little discomfort and or maybe a little nervousness, then maybe you should push yourself. Um, I know for me, before I do anything, like literally anything, I get like terrified. I'm like, I get like scared. I'm like, oh, like I shouldn't go. I shouldn't do this. And then I force myself to go. And then once I do, it ends up becoming a great experience. Like there was something I went to a few weeks ago where I was I was very nervous going in because I didn't know anybody. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be here for like maybe an hour tops, which still felt like a long time, but I was like, I'm gonna just be here for an hour. Um, I'll just battle my way through it and proud of you for getting out or whatever. I was gonna turn back and go home like so many times, but then I decided to stick with it. And then I ended up being there for like 4 hours and meeting some really nice people. So, you never know. But then there are also times where it's like, you know what? I'm genuinely not feeling okay right now and I need to take some time off. And that's okay. You don't have to push through everything. And realizing that, for example, like, okay, if I don't go to this open mic night, you know, because I'm not in the mood, there's going to be another open mic night. So I can always go to the next one, you know? So sometimes it's about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And sometimes it's like, okay, take a break. You kind of have to feel it's right for you. Elena says, I think I've been so awkward so many times that I don't even care anymore, but having social anxiety is truly hard. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I I'm very like I'm very I think a lot of times the awkwardness comes from like how we like the other person's energy, you know? It's not always a reflection of you. There have been times where I'm like in conversations where I'm like, that was so awkward. I was so awkward. But then I'm like, wait a second. That person wasn't really asking me any questions. That person wasn't really trying to talk to me. So it's like, yeah, of course it was awkward because I felt like I was starting everything and I was like forcing a conversation. But sometimes you meet people where it's really natural and it's not awkward at all because you just have a natural conversation. Um, and honestly, I kind of look at like when I am talking to somebody and they're not asking any questions, it's like, it's like a challenge. Like, how do I keep the conversation going and how do I make it not awkward, even though sometimes I do? I think a lot of times for me, I like to make jokes. I like to laugh in general with friends, with strangers, with whatever. But I will say if I am like constantly making jokes when talking to somebody, a lot of times that means I'm uncomfortable. Sometimes when I'm uncomfortable, I make a lot of jokes. Not all the time. I don't want to say that because sometimes I'm just cracking jokes for the hell of it. Um, but there are times where I'm just like uncomfortable. So I'm like, let me just make a joke. Oh no, otherwise it's gonna be awkward. Let me say something that might make us laugh. I don't know. But yeah, social anxiety, that's tough. I talk too much. I think sometimes I got too much to say. That's okay. That's okay. It's good to talk. If you have something to say, that's important. I mean, as long as it's kind and nice and productive and helpful. In general, I get angry so easy and I can't control it when it happens. I see myself and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with two personalities. I mean, the first thing, I mean, props to you for noticing that. A lot of people with anger issues don't know they have anger issues. You know, they think they are fine. They think they're responding rationally. So I think that's great that you can acknowledge that you get angry easily. Um, there's been times where I've noticed that like I've gotten angry at certain things, and I've had to take a step back and really like, whoa, why am I angry at this? Am I really angry at this, or am I angry at something else? Am I angry at what this reminds me of? And then just catching yourself in the moment too is a big thing. Okay, so if there's something that you know will get you angry, maybe preparing for it, or if something does happen that gets you angry, like catch yourself when you're getting angry and be like, well, stop. And maybe you're still, maybe it's not going to make you feel happy about it, but if you catch yourself, you won't allow yourself to get like to lose your temper, you know? Little steps to get there. A very nice series I watched recently, We Are All Trying Here, an amazing and very meaningful K-drama. It has to do with mental health, and that by the end of the day, we are all just humans and doing our best. Wait, we are all trying here. Okay, I've never watched any K-dramas, but I'm gonna type that into my notes. We are all trying here. I'm gonna check that out. I appreciate the recommendation. Thank you. Um, so I did want to share something. I saw this. I was at Goodwill, getting some. I was like thrifting for some clothes, and I saw this book, and it caught my attention, and I thought it was really interesting. And I read like the first chapter, and I thought I was gonna want to share it. It's Redefine Everything, Single on Purpose. Find Yourself First. I don't know. This caught my attention. I was like, huh. I wonder, what it's about. And it's basically, let's see, on the back it says disclaimer, this is not an anti-relationship book. This is a pro-relationship with yourself book. Single on purpose, like this book will allow you to connect to your true self, treat your mind better, let go of your relationship residue, discover the new you. So shake up everything you know about being on your own, stop looking for the one, and find yourself first. I think that, like, when I saw this, I was like, yep, I need this because, you know, and I know I'm not the only one with this. A lot of times we, like, this is a really good book, by the way. I mean, I just started it, so, you know, I guess I can't like recommend the whole book, but like basically, like what it's saying is like, a lot of times we put our worth into a relationship. Um, there's something wrong with us if we're single. Um, there's like we're not lovable. We're not like we're losers or whatever. Like that's really just not true at all. Our worth doesn't isn't defined by being in a relationship. And a lot of times people are in relationships and they're not even happy, you know? They're in these relationships just because they're afraid of being alone. But meanwhile, they're in a worse place because they're in a relationship that's not healthy. Like sometimes people think that a toxic relationship is better than being in no relationship at all. Sometimes like, people just have the fear of being alone. And I mean, being alone sucks. Like, I understand that. But you know, it's really important to find yourself and to know who you are so that when you meet somebody else, you can both be you. Not both be you. Like you can be you, they can be them, and you're just doing life with each other, you know? Because if you don't know who you are, if you don't like find yourself and then you get in a relationship, like all of your mindset is in on this relationship and like, okay, like you kind of forget like who are you at that point. And it's very hard because when you get into a relationship, obviously things change from when you're single. Like you now you're thinking like constantly about somebody else and about taking care of them, and um time starts to get, maybe like time for certain things that you would do on your own, maybe now you're doing with someone else, and maybe like there's some sacrifice that comes with it. But I think it's really important to not let yourself completely go. And that's what this book kind of like talks about, you know, not let yourself completely go if you're in a relationship. For example, if you are going to the gym every day, you're single, you have time, you're going to the gym every day, you feel really good. And then you get in a relationship and then you're busy and it's like, oh, well, I'm with somebody now. I don't need to go to the gym, or like I'm busy, whatever. We'll just hang out all the time, and maybe I won't go to the gym anymore, or I won't go to the gym as much. You know, you should still do these things for yourself. Um, I think it's really important. You can be there for others while still being there for yourselves. Um, you know, and you need to be good to yourself, because then, like, if the relationship doesn't work out, if you put all your hopes and all your personality and all your thoughts into that relationship, what are you left with at the end of the day? It's important to know who you are, stay true to who you are, and then when you meet somebody else, they can add to that, and they can accept you for you, and you can be yourself, you know? Um, so yeah, I thought this was a good book. Then there's like a little section here that says like there's uh there's so much more to life than loving someone, but being single can feel like a death sentence. Why does being alone equal being lonely? And why do we stop working on ourselves when we're in a relationship? Spending time to cultivate your relationship with yourself shouldn't be something you only do when you hit rock bottom, go through a major loss, or have a quarter life crisis. All of us at some point need to be single on purpose. That's huge. Why do we stop working on ourselves when we're in a relationship? Yeah, that's a very important one, and I've definitely been guilty of that. I've 100% been guilty of that. Um, a lot of times when I'm single, it's like I have time to work on myself, and then get into a relationship, and then it's like, whoa, why aren't I doing the stuff that I was doing before? I'm not taking care of myself. You know, there's a balance to it. It's very interesting. I don't know. I saw that book and I was like, whoa, and so far I really like it. So I'll let you guys know how it is. Um, One series I watched was Heartstopper. Really helped me extend myself. I'm gonna write that down too. Never heard of that one. Heartstopper. Okay, I gotta check it out. Yes, nice book. Sounds interesting, Drew. I'll check it out. Yeah, and I got it for $3 at Goodwill. So I don't know if it's at every Goodwill. It's probably not. Um, it's really important to spend time with yourself in order to get to know you better. It's not always easy because sometimes you get lonely, but it's also a lesson to be like your own friend. Yeah. Well, look, the person who you know most is you. So if you could be your own friend, that would be wonderful. Um, Hey, what's up, Carmelo? What's up, Drew? Always thankful to you. I enjoy watching all your videos and live streams. You inspire me. Thank you, bro. Oh, Carmelo, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I'm thankful for you too. That means the world. Thank you for watching the videos. Dude, you inspire me too, to keep doing this. Comments like that, like what you just said, inspire me every day. So I really appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Uh, well, I want to thank all of you guys so much. I love you guys truly with all my heart. You guys are truly the best. And I'm just grateful every day that I have a platform where I can do this and talk to you guys about mental health and mindfulness. And um, I want to continue this, and I want to keep growing from here. And no matter what I do in life, I always want to like talk about these things. Um, and hopefully get it onto an even bigger platform, because I think talking about mental health and mindfulness and self-care is so freaking important. And I think everybody needs to hear it. And I think we should just normalize having these conversations. So I encourage all of you to be good to yourselves today, be kind to yourselves today, to love yourselves today. Be gentle on yourselves, give yourselves a big hug, do something nice for yourself today. Um, and yeah, we have a few last comments. Elena says, I think it's better to wait for your right person than dating someone toxic. Yeah. And a lot of people, they date someone toxic just because they want to be with someone. And, it might feel good temporarily, but in the long term, it's better to be single and just find yourself. If I don't go to the pub, I feel bad. That makes my anxiety worse. But then again, I'm scared if I go, I don't think I can. Maybe you just if it's really bad, maybe today's not the day. If there's another day where you guys are going, maybe you can do it another day. Um, but if this is something that maybe you guys aren't going to be doing for a bit, maybe you see if you can convince yourself. Maybe you go in with a friend so you're not doing it alone, you know? Gabriel, what's up, Gabriel? Thanks for joining. I have watched you since you started, Drew. Thanks for doing this. It makes me realize that making mistakes is not the end of the world because we're humans and we learn. Thanks for spreading love. Oh, bro. Gabriel. Bro, I appreciate you. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Dude, that means the world. Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course. I'm so happy that you're here and that I'm doing this. Yeah, means a lot. We're grateful for you too, Drew. I always enjoy those lives. Take care. I love you guys. You guys are the best. I love you so much. Okay. I will talk to you guys soon. All right. Mwah. Have a good one.